1:29 p.m. London, September 7, 1978. A man is walking across Waterloo Bridge on his way to work. His name is Georgi Markov, a writer, a dissident, a man who escaped communist Bulgaria and made a new life in England, working for the BBC. It's a normal Thursday morning. Then he feels it, a sharp sting in the back of his right thigh. He turns around. A man behind him mumbles an apology, picks up an umbrella, hails a taxi, and disappears. Georgi thinks nothing of it. Maybe a bee sting. He goes to work. That evening he develops a fever. By the next day he's in hospital. 3 days later, Georgi Markov is dead. To understand why someone wanted him dead, you need to understand where he came from. Bulgaria in the 1960s was one of the most controlled communist states in the world. The government decided what people said, wrote, and thought. Georgi Markov was a celebrated playwright, invited to state dinners, given awards, but he saw the corruption, the lies, the way ordinary people were crushed by the system, and he couldn't stay quiet. In 1969 he defected. He left Bulgaria and never went back. He settled in London, where he broadcast uncensored news and commentary back into communist Bulgaria for the BBC World Service. Millions of Bulgarians listened to him in secret. He named names. He mocked the Bulgarian leader directly, on air, to an audience of millions. To the Bulgarian government, he wasn't just an annoyance. He was a threat. It's the 1970s. The Cold War is at its height. The world is split. The West versus the Soviet Union. The KGB had a special department whose entire job was assassination. Bulgaria's secret police worked closely with them. And by 1978 they had decided Georgi Markov needed to be silenced permanently. The question was how to do it without getting caught. The answer was extraordinary. The weapon was a modified umbrella. On the outside, completely ordinary. But inside the tip was a hidden mechanism. When pressed against skin, it fired a tiny pellet using compressed gas. The pellet was 1.7 millimeters across, roughly the size of a pinhead. Drilled through the center were 2 tiny holes. Inside those holes, ricin, one of the most toxic substances on the planet. A lethal dose weighs less than a single grain of salt. But here's the truly sinister part. The pellet was coated in wax that melted at body temperature. So, when it entered his leg, nothing happened immediately. His own body heat slowly melted the coating. Hours later, the ricin seeped out into his tissue. By the time he felt seriously ill, it was already too late. There was no antidote. There still isn't. Georgi Markov died of multiple organ failure 3 days later. Doctors were baffled. His organs were shutting down and nobody could explain why. Before he died, he told them about the man with the umbrella, about the sting on the bridge. During the autopsy, a pathologist found something embedded in his thigh, the pellet. So small they almost missed it. When it reached Britain's top secret defense lab, scientists confirmed what was inside. Ricin, Scotland Yard launched a murder investigation. The CIA was consulted. MI6 was brought in. The conclusion was clear. A state-sponsored assassination. But the man with the umbrella was never caught. Bulgaria denied everything. The Soviet Union denied everything. Georgi Markov's murder remains officially unsolved to this day. So, why does this still matter? In 2018, 40 years after Waterloo Bridge, a former Russian spy was poisoned on a park bench in Salisbury, England. In 2020, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was poisoned on a domestic flight. He survived and was later imprisoned, where he died in 2024. The methods have changed, but the logic is exactly the same. Silence the people who speak the truth. Make it hard to prove, and make sure others see what happens when you step out of line. Georgi Markov was killed because he used words, because he told the truth about power to people who weren't allowed to hear it. His broadcasts are still archived at the BBC. His writing survived. His voice survived. The man who ordered his death died in 1998, never having faced justice. History doesn't always give us the ending we want, but it gives us the record, and that record matters. Subscribe.